readers,
reviewers,
countrymen,
lend us your ears. Welcome back to the channel. Today, myself, Will, and my brother Ed are going to be talking about some fast-paced fantasy books. We love a bit of alliteration there, don't we? Fast-paced fantasy.
Well, no, we're doing 5 fast-paced fantasy books.
5 fast-paced fantasy books. That is really nice, Ed.
Thank you very much.
Nicely done.
Cheers,
You find that alliteration wherever it's hiding, don't you?
I find 5, yeah.
So now today,
Five.
if you haven't guessed, we're going to be talking about 5 fantasy books, which we believe are very fast-paced.
Try saying this after a few pints. It would be impossible.
That is the
5
challenge.
fast-paced fantasy books.
5 fast-paced fantasy books.
5 furiously fast-paced fantasy books.
5 furiously paced fantasy books. Anyway, we can do that in our own time, can't we? Off video.
We'll...
Off video.
That's how we spend our...
Yeah. If you're ever wondering what we do in our own spare time, there it is.
In spare as well.
In spare But yes, so 5 fast-paced fantasy books. And yeah, so hopefully you enjoy us talking about these, whether you've read them and loved them, or if you haven't and you're interested in reading them. So Ed...
Will, I'm going to say, can you start?
Oh, today? Yes, I've got 3, you've got 2, it makes sense. First up, I've got The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. This is the first instalment of his epic fantasy series. Book 3 being released next year, The Lord of Demons, great title. But yes, The Rage of Dragons, this is really fast-paced. We have a main protagonist. He does some bad things, but he's a protagonist called Tao, and he is a wrecking ball of a character, isn't he? He causes havoc, but you're really rooting for him.
Cyrus,
but
so...
Wrecking Ball.
Yeah.
Did she do that song? Yeah. I didn't know. I was just guessing there. It was a good guess. Was it Sherlock
Williams
Holmes over here?
That was your favourite song.
Oh, yes.
Of like 2015.
Yeah, I definitely didn't have a poster. Is that by...
But you put your face on the Wrecking Ball instead.
Of course. But yeah, so this has a lot of short, sharp chapters. There's an event, a catalyst in every single chapter. Can I say chapter again? There's a lot of chapters. But yes, so it's not the smallest book. It's not the biggest either, but it's a bit in between. But it feels like a very fast read because you can kind of just blitz through this. Yeah. So yeah, that is Rage of Dragons. You loved this as well, didn't you?
I loved Rage of Dragons. William was like, you need to read this. And I just didn't for a long time. I don't know why. Probably didn't trust him because we haven't got much trust really. Because
no,
William
not really.
spends more time jumping at me anyway. But
True.
That's enough about us. The Rage of Dragons is, I think, a fantastic book. It's perfect for people who love a fast-paced fantasy because it
doesn't
takes
feel
all
like
of
real
those
words.
boxes. I know it doesn't anymore. But it's so fast-paced. The chapters are short. They're so sharp that if you touch them, they could shave you. But Tao is a fantastic character. His motivations, they change throughout. He does develop, and he does so pretty quickly as well. But he also has these traits that are very unique to just him. And there is an insane balance of action, of plot, of both used together. And I think Evan Winter is a perfect author to read if you really want to get in the mindset of someone who is using plot for development of character, plot for development of everything, where also the action is such a huge part of it, where the character, that's what he has. It's like Conan, it's always about action. There's really not too much points of where the character, is having dialogue with people. But here, Tao has a perfect balance. And there is that action element, but there is also elements of him growing as a person. Yeah. And I absolutely love Rage of Dragons, also because of the culture that is written. And there's definitely not much African fantasy out there, African-inspired fantasy anyway. And I absolutely lapped it up. I loved it. I just wanted more immersion. But, Evan Winter's done a great job with his writing style here. It's so easy to read, so smooth, so nice to digest as well.
It is.
And it is, it's very smooth to read. And I think that's one huge reason why The Rage of Dragons, I was able to read it in I think a day.
It was
a day,
yeah.
pretty much a day. So.
And if you're not hooked, there is a sequence like to Gladiator in this. Warrior Soul plus Gladiator equals must read. Maths for you.
Very nice. Ed, one for me then it's more of a sci-fi, but I'm going to say it's fantasy. It's
sci-fantasy.
It's fantasy. So Red Rising by Pierce Brown.
Who would use the real term when you can make up your own?
When you can make up your own. I mean, Shakespeare, he coined them, didn't he? He coined loads of words.
He did coin a lot of words.
So
why can't we?
What's the word for when you put two words together? It begins with C.
No?
I don't know. Conjoined words. and made them. I don't know. But yeah, Pierce Brown is a great author. Red Rising is his first book in the Red Rising trilogy. It's now a saga, really, isn't it?
It is.
And it is absolutely fantastic. What I love about Red Rising is that it takes these unique ideas about class systems, puts it in space where basically people are born into a class, but depending what colour class system they're in. So the reds are the workers, the golds are at the top of the food chain, and then all the different colours in between have different
Blues are
jobs.
like engineers or mechanics.
Exactly. And silvers are, other
But they're all
things.
to
And then
serve
the
the
bronze are
gods.
different things, and the purples are something different.
And
to
the
all those as well.
obsidians,
The
warriors,
obsidians
yeah,
are
so good.
deep in the ground, aren't they? No,
They're not really.
They're not really. You have to mine them. But Red Rising is likened to the Hunger Games in terms of it has that kind of game element that is life or death and teams and that kind of thing. But I think Red Rising takes it a different direction, and by the end,
It's not more
this
brutal.
is a completely unique book, and I think it definitely wipes the floor with Hunger Games, in my opinion. But yeah, Red Rising
And
is
it is
supreme.
fast-paced.
What do you think of Red Rising?
I think it's great. I think that the Hunger Games element, I think at first it seems a bit like there's a bit where I thought it's enjoyable, but it's not fantastic. And then there's the whole kind of
When everyone starts dying, it starts to get really good, doesn't it?
but it's where he adds that aspect of building a team and
Yeah.
the factions, whereas Hunger Games is a bit more of a solo act, isn't it? But I absolutely loved how there is that added part to it, that added section, and then how it links to the wider plot and the beginning. Oh my goodness!
And it's so fast paced; it doesn't stop moving. From literally, I think chapter 3, you think, oh, you're really settled, and then all of a sudden, bang,
Boom.
people are
Being
dying.
thrown left,
They're
right,
being
and
hung,
centre.
and gravity is just
Not
great.
working.
It's not-
But yes, Red Rising, I think the characters are absolutely sensational. It's hard to get characters better than this, and the dialogue as well, which makes it really move in a fluid read, which is, you guessed it, very fast. Next up, I have...
Well, if you ever throw Red Rising again, I'll go Darrow.
It landed flat. Trust me, I pinky promise. Next up, I have We Are the Dead by Mike Shackle. So this is the first of The Last War. We had the pleasure of interviewing Mike Shackle a few months ago, so you can go check that video out if you like to. But yes,
Even
We Are
if
the
you
Dead.
wouldn't like to,
Go check it out.
Yeah.
We Are the Dead is very fast-paced fantasy because it's very short chapters. As I said a bit with Rage of Dragons, there is a clear-cut event in every single chapter, but it doesn't seem like it doesn't feel forced, does it? There's something, the pace is just done so well, and we have a mixture of characters here, 4 or 5 different arcs and storylines that are running at the same time, alongside each other.
Like lions in a pride, chasing some wildebeest to be friends.
But yes,
Well,
so
look what
the
they did to
premise...
Mufasa, so
Mufasa, that was sad.
he should have moved faster.
Do you know Mufasa was Mufasa was the first character to be shown dead in a Disney film?
What?
The first, but like Bambi, you don't see the mother when she's shot.
Damn.
Spoilers. But We Are the Dead.
That's why I never watched the first 5 minutes of Bambi.
Oh, what was I going to say? We Are the Dead. So yes, I absolutely love this. One of my favourite books of all time. And this is just say the premise is if the bad guys won, if Sauron won in Lord of the Rings. So yeah, this is about a rebellion force with some people who are just caught in the midst of it and just want to get out of the way, being caught in this kind of resistance in a city.
Absolutely. And I think this book actually, I mean, it's quite a chunky book, about 500 pages.
Yeah.
But I think Mike Shackle's done such a superb job here where it is epic fantasy, but it has an insanely intimate feel. It's multi-POV, but the characters are all so different, with a wide range of moralities there. And the bad guys are really bad.
Chilling.
Really
Really bad.
And I think Mike Shackle's an absolute supreme writer. We Are the Dead really takes you on a journey, and it's an absolute roller coaster of a ride. And I absolutely love it because of that POV aspect and the way that it is epic fantasy. It has such ripple effects of what the characters do in their small little segments, but it is a very intimate book, and the wide cast of characters is fantastic.
It's true.
And the next one for us, how can we go through a video talking about fast-paced fantasy without talking about Papa John Gwynne?
The Shadow of the Gods.
Of the Shadow of the Gods, especially. I mean, I think Faith and Thorns is well fast-paced.
Yeah, I remember Mike Book Review saying something that even though the Faith and Thorns are such chunky books, he can blitz through them, whereas he loves Brandon Sanderson books, but he said he can't read them very quickly. You have to take them in small bites. A bit like what I did with Wolf Hall. You cannot, but it's well, I can't anyway.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't believe many people could.
Yeah, but this is very bingeable, and I think again the multi-POV aspect really lends itself towards it. What I love about the Shadow of the Gods is the level of immersion, which in fantasy is, I think, one of the most important things. You read fantasy to kind of be in a different world. A whole different universe, if you like, and the Shadow of the Gods...
Or at least feel involved in that story.
Yeah, and the Shadow of the Gods absolutely achieves that with the detail of the life and the detail and the mythology. It is inspired by history and also, like pagan religions as well.
Norse mythology.
And exactly, so there you go. And that's what I love about it. The world is so unique, but also it has a feeling... of the characters all moving together, but they don't know where they're moving. None of it's in their hands, and it is a little bit, instead of a roller coaster which they've walked on willingly, it is more of a wave brutally taking them out to sea, isn't it?
It is.
Maybe not a wave, maybe a tsunami, because it hits them pretty hard.
It does, yeah, that's one way to put it. This is classic Papa Gwynne style of short, sharp chapters that are shared between a variety of different perspectives that can make you shave, and each of these characters goes through such an arc. The journeys they go on and the settings they cover and the actions that unfold with them are just mind-blowing at times, aren't they? And they all have a clear-cut motivation. They have a lot of complexity about their character as well, which adds in that really interesting character development, but you know what they're aiming for, but you just sense that they're not going to be giving it easy. No. So
there are characters here that are just so cunning. You could probably put a tail on them and call them a weasel.
You probably could. And then you've got Orca, who is nicely put. And then you've got Orca, who's just an absolutely incredible character. I know a lot of people. She's in their top characters of all time. And she is I'm going to say it again. A wrecking ball of a character.
Her and Matt Gwynne, imagine them meeting.
Oh, imagine them together. Crikey, that would be. I think dangerous, but it'd be one of these fun to watch from afar, but not for anyone
Logan
involved.
And Pharaoh, but yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Hopefully, Orca and Matt have less action.
Less action, as Philip Chase would put it.
Absolutely. Is that all of our books?
I have one more. I have Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Ames. So this is about a rock band. They're not a rock band, but a band of warriors who is kind of. There's a lot of allusions to rock bands, aren't there? But a band of warriors called Saga.
They were references, I think, to 60s, 70s rock.
Nice. So these were the most famous warriors around, the most famous mercenaries called Saga, but they've split up for various reasons. Differences in ideas.
You know, when you're creative, your creative brain leads you in a direction, and then your bandmates still want to carry on playing the same kind of gigs. Then,
exactly.
You want to move on. You want to go to festivals. You want to top the main stage, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they've all gone in different directions, but one of their daughters is stuck, besieged in a castle. So he's gone after his old friends to try and get the band back together, try and save her. And so this is a rip-roaring, really fast, tension, action-packed read, but it's also absolutely fantastic with a lot of depth and moments where Nicholas Ames, whilst this is so fast-paced, he also allows those moments of calm where you really have those impactful moments of character interactions and development, and you really get a sense of these characters together and what they've been through together and what ties them as friends.
What binds them, absolutely, yeah. Kings of the Wild is so much fun. One of my most enjoyable books that I read last year, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was.
Wow, what a long time ago.
And I've read it because you loved it so much.
You read it because I loved it so much. And I read it because Dad loved it so much. Yeah, exactly. He's actually on this cover, isn't he? I think he is the name on the front cover. So,
What's the quote?
The quote is, a rollicking, page-turning, edge-of-your-seat road trip of a book.
Well, we couldn't
that sounds quite alliterative as well.
It does. We couldn't say it better than Papa Gwynne, could we?
No. That's why we have to splurt it all out.
We just say more.
Is splurt a word?
Splurt. It is now. Not spurt. Splurt.
But yeah, Kings of the Wild is so much fun, I think, because it is the most Dungeons and Dragons book you could probably ever read, and the characters are absolutely hilarious.
So there we go. That is 5 fast-paced fantasy books
delivered to you by the Brothers Gwynne, the most fantasy-related postmen around.
We'll neglect that last part, but thank you so much everyone for watching. Let us know if you're interested in reading any of these, if you've read any of these, or any fast-paced fantasy books that you believe we have left out or not read. So yeah, that'd be very much appreciated. Would love to talk to you down in the comments below. Links to our social medias are down in the description below. Thank you so much for watching.
From the Brothers Gwynne
below. From the description below.
Truth and courage.
Truth and courage, the Brothers Gwynne.
The Brothers Gwynne.